Hi, I'm Ida. I was diagnosed with stage IV ovarian cancer shortly after turning 36, when my youngest boy was just a baby and my oldest 2.5 years old. I was told that I had an aggressive form of ovarian cancer that was incurable, and according to statistics, less than 20% in my country make it to the 5 years mark. Since then, about 3 years have passed and my boys are not that small anymore. My oldest boy is even starting school this fall, and I now feel very confident that I will still be here waving him off on his first day, which is something I thought was quite unlikely at the time of diagnosis. And given the probability of being here for my children and see them grow up in case I would only use the current available conventional treatments for my cancer, I couldn't see any other option than to explore complementary approaches to improve my odds. And the metabolic approach to cancer caught my attention quite early after diagnosis. And I started to follow a plant-forward ketogenic diet and decided to water fast during chemo. And with time, I also added in off-label repurposed drugs and supplements to form a cancer-starving protocol. Besides that, I also have shifted to a healthier lifestyle overall and prioritize things like exercise, sleep, stress reduction, even meditation, and so on. And conventional treatment, for that I did chemo for about 5 months, followed by maybe half a year with a targeted therapy. However, for the last 2 years, I've only been taking my metabolic protocol with off-label drugs and supplements. And as I live in Sweden, that has a publicly funded healthcare system, me personally have had very low costs for my conventional care. So the off-label drugs and supplements in my metabolic protocol have made up the major part of my care costs so far. However, these drugs are very affordable as they are old and already off patent, so it hasn't put a big burden on me. And it should also be noted that other modalities I engage in, like fasting, keto, and exercise, on the other hand, are more or less free. So the healthcare professionals I met during my cancer journey has either been unaware or skeptic towards the metabolic approach to cancer. So all I've done is out of my own research. Luckily, I have a background in life science, which has made it easier for me to take part of the growing knowledge base around the metabolic theory of cancer and complementary treatments. And many cancer patients don't have time and knowledge to seek out these treatments, or they are scared to do anything that haven't been recommended by their oncologist. And I admit that it can be scary sometimes to use yourself as a guinea pig, as an oncologist nurse once called it, that almost refused to give me chemo while fasting. However, she was later very surprised over my minimal side effects after chemo, and that I was feeling normal and usually back on the gym 1 or 2 days after my chemo sessions.
And it's been, 3 years since your diagnosis now?
Yeah, it's about 3 years. At least 3 years since my cancer diagnosis, or since I know that I had a metastatic cancer, but then it took a while before they know what kind of cancer it was. As my primary tumor was very, very small. It was smaller than the actual I can't even say it now. My primary was in a endometrial cyst, and most of the cyst looked normal, and then it was just a small dot in there that was cancerous, and that probably that something was spreading from, and then spread to many parts of my body. But what I also did was that I tried my own ferroptosis protocol based on also Jane McClelland's book. In a new edition, she has a chapter about it. And also looking at other protocols online. And after that, I also saw a significant decline in my tumor markers. So I did that in January after doing like a longer water fast. I did have this in one of my lymph node. I had a small recurrence last fall, but it was local. they could just remove it. And they offered me if I wanted chemo, but I had to choose myself. And I discussed also with Canceriveology and said that I don't think, Canceriveology also agreed with me that it's better to save the big guns for later if they would be necessary. My oncologist has been a bit interested, but not very. But I have heard some of the other persons that I have contact with here in Sweden. Some of them are more interested, more into research, and have also started to think about studies, etc., and how to leverage this knowledge. And this is, and it's quite interesting that the patients are almost giving also research ideas into the. I started to spread the word a little bit about it in Sweden. So now we are quite a few patients from Sweden. And we also have a Swedish group about repurposed drugs that we have started. We have really driven persons in this group. I might not be the one that are the most driving in the driver's seat right now. It's other persons that really are the ones that are doing the major part of the research. Because I think that, yeah, sometimes maybe I feel very well and I don't worry so much and just tend to live my life with my two small children. So I don't have time always to do all the research, etc. that I did in the beginning. I was really focused on, and of course, very very good to have a supportive community to be in. Sometimes some of the communities you are in are very big, and it's you don't get to know each other in the same way as you do in this little bit more. We are just like 15 patients in there, so it's quite small so far. But it's very personal. Besides reducing the treatment side effects, I do also feel confident that the metabolic treatments have a positive effect on my outcomes, as I've seen my tumor markers go down after starting and adding products to my cancer starving protocol. And I'm aware that the metabolic treatments aren't cure necessarily, but I truly believe that they are adding time to my life and have improved my quality of life during treatment. And I really hope that these metabolic treatments will be more studied and part of the standard of care sometimes really soon. I have learned that the oncologist doesn't necessarily know the whole story, and that they have so much to do, so they don't always have time to also read up on all the new literature and research that are coming out. So that's why I thought that I need also to do my own research. And everyone diagnosed, I know that it can be a time constraint and not everyone have the resources and knowledge to do their own research, but today it's starting to become more available because it's a lot of groups available and it's books written about this. So I really encourage people to have a look at what is out there, and you don't need to turn the back on any conventional treatment, but you could always see if you could do something to also improve your odds by also adding in additional modalities. Look at the complementary treatments available and also reach out to other survivors or join networks. Read books, see what is out there and make your own educated decision of what you want to do. And also ask your friends to do research for you if you don't have the time, and you might feel overwhelmed with being a cancer patient. So ask for help, and that help could be also to do the research for you and see what kind of therapies are out there, and make your own choice and be your own advocate.